I adore how Reacher Season 3 has immediately addressed one of the main issues with the second series. The mystery has been reinstated. Over the years, I've read a lot of interviews with author Lee Child about how he creates the standard Jack Reacher books, and he uses a formula that contributes significantly to their addictive nature. In particular, the author constantly teases readers with unsolved questions, which encourages them to read on. A new mystery is revealed as soon as the previous one is resolved. Child's Killing Floor, the first book and the model for all subsequent books, was adapted for Reacher Season 1. In addition to having fantastic characters and lots of action, the first series' central mystery kept viewers interested. The way that Child's books and their adaptations combine a typical murder mystery with a muscular hero straight out of the 1980s is one aspect of them that I have always admired. Although Reacher Season 3 is currently enjoying a high rating and favorable reviews, it follows the somewhat disappointing second season. The 11th book, Bad Luck in Trouble, which provided a more thorough explanation of the backstory of the titular drifter, was discussed in Reacher Season 2. On paper, it was a wise decision for Year 2 since it gave audiences a closer look at Reacher through his bond with his old unit. Despite the choppy fight scenes and numerous departures from the original material, I really liked the second season. The lack of depth in the main mystery was one aspect of Season 2 that I did not enjoy. Season 2 merely pits Reacher's 110 special investigators against a group attempting to sell an experimental missile, whereas the first season drew viewers into the murderous conspiracy at the center of Margrave. Although there were a few minor plot points such as the potential that a former special investigator was working with the villains, Year 2 doesn't really have any mysteries. After identifying the villains, Reacher and his group defeat them. The main character of Alan Ritchson's Persuader goes undercover with a gunrunner in the new season of Reacher. Although that arrangement seems straightforward, my personal favorite Reacher book is Persuader. In this gripping thriller, Reacher searches for a kidnapped DA agent and a man who killed and tortured a friend of his years ago, barely maintaining his cover from one chapter to the next. Although it's not a particularly deep plot, Reacher's most recent series is frequently unpredictable and builds suspense and mystery. This relates to the fact that Reacher is constantly confronted with a fresh danger or surprising plot development, which is what makes the books so addictive. Angel Dole, Manuel Rodriguez Sainz, for instance, initially appears to be just another dim-witted criminal that Reacher must contend with, but he quickly exposes flaws in Jack's undercover narrative. Reacher handles Angel in a straightforward way as usual, but this is only one instance of how Season 3 keeps things interesting. Teresa, the missing DEA informant, is still alive, according to Episode 6, Smoke on the Water. It remains to be seen if she remains so until the conclusion. Although the third season of Reacher isn't as captivating as the first season, it more than makes up for the franchise's second-year lull. Every season of Reacher will inevitably conclude with a shootout and explosions, just like any other classic action film. There was a lot of both in the second season finale, but the pyrotechnics felt flimsy considering how weak the plot was. With the exception of Reacher clinging to a gurney that was hanging from a helicopter, the Season 2 finale felt very familiar because there was no tension or sense that the special investigators could lose. The old friend's emotional reconciliation pleased me, but the conclusion was mediocre. As the third season draws to a close, the show must have a satisfying conclusion. I can't wait to see the much-hyped fight between Reacher and Polly, Olivier Richter's, but the real showdown will be between our hero and mortal enemy Quinn, Brian T. Beck's, Anthony Michael Hall. Mansion is transformed into a battlefield in the bloody finale of Reacher Season 3, if the plot is true to the novel. I have no doubt that the show will succeed despite its flaws. As long as the Reacher/Polly fight lives up to the hype, everything will be alright. The third season has been a lot of fun.